Hello, guys. Hope all is well. Welcome to the third episode of the Al or Nothing podcast. I'm here, Dinesh, representing Al Hilal with my three friends. Guys, let's do everyone a favor. Introduce yourselves with your names, the clubs you're representing. Let's remind everyone. Let's start with yourself, Tony.
So I'm Anthony. I'm supporting Al Nassr. I'll pass it on to Vishnu then.
My name is Vishnu, and I'm for Al Ittihad.
Are you not going to pass it on to me? Oh,
I'll pass
it
on to
myself.
Gaminda. I'll pass on to
My name
Gams.
is Gaminda, and I'm supporting Ali.
You're pretty irrelevant right now, to be honest.
Yeah,
so-
I mean, let's keep
Remember
Al
last
Ali. I
episode,
mean,
you were.
oh, yeah.
But we'll get
Let's
into
keep
that.
let's keep Al Ali aside because that's definitely a topic, especially after the week's results. But I think one that we wanted to get into, and I think we should immediately, is Vishnu after his comments last week. Oh, what was he saying?
What comments? I
We're-
can't remember anything.
We're gonna sign Salah and we're gonna beat Al Hilal. What was the score? 6-1. He says
What?
6 goals.
I said 3-1 or 2-1.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Imagine
yeah.
making like
Did
so
you-
many
I said
predictions
way more.
and
Well, your
everything
chest
was
was
wrong.
out. It was like
Yeah,
6 goals.
I did say
definitely.
we come back to that. What
To be
did
fair,
I
you
say?
didn't even play that well, man. You got lucky, in my opinion.
Let's just
I'm
give
honest.
let's give the audience a quick rundown. So Vishnu thinks that Al Ittihad would have taken Al Hilal, the most prestigious club in the Saudi Pro League, the most successive club, the club with the most trophies, and they thought they could come to our turf. They thought they could come to our turf and try to take us on.
Before you say anything else, I did say at the start of my prediction when Salah comes. So because that didn't happen, the rest of it's irrelevant.
You
I
said
thought
he
Salah
could-
was
you
coming.
said
I
he
thought
will be
with
playing.
your prediction,
You
Salah
said he
was
will be
coming.
playing.
Yeah.
It was close. It was close to. It's not never bad to be optimistic.
I mean,
It was
it was
close
around
to.
about
the result was
150 million
4-3.
pounds. Not
The
that
result
great.
was 4-3. We definitely made it more difficult than we should have, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. But it treated to a real feisty derby in the end. With you guys going ahead with the first goal, last coming back, Alexandra Mitrovic.
It was a good goal. It was a good
He
goal.
is absolutely
Great-
taking the
great
league
goal.
by storm.
Yeah.
Mm.
That was the first one, an absolute worldie of a goal with that volley.
Yeah, but has he got more goals than Romero in the league? Don't think so. So
He's played 3 games.
you're bringing up stats about 3 games. That's my stat. No, I'm joking. Yeah, you played well, but I feel like Fabinho and Kante held your midfield a bit better. From what I see, I didn't see the full game, but from what I saw, they held your
Fabinho
midfield down.
had a great game. To be fair, he was
Yeah.
absolutely. He looked like the Liverpool of old. Fabinho. He was dictating that midfield, making the interceptions, getting moving it on. Absolutely, but to be fair, Kante did too. Kante put in a few great forward passes. Again, dictating the midfield. But I just think our defense, but also our attack, it's just at the moment, it just attack especially, it works so well. Malcolm's such a threat. I know you didn't score this time. You got
Hit the crossbar, right? Yeah.
hit the crossbar. Yeah, he just such a threat. Mitrovic. Anytime, all you got to do is put the ball in the middle of the box. Mitrovic is getting his head onto it, or he's laying it off to somebody else. He's an absolute monster in there. He's a one-man machine.
I've got to be honest though, after watching the game, right, I think what you have is in essence is your keeper. Bono saved
Bono
you
made some great saves.
so
Great save.
many times. Benzema's 1-on-1.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who the other player was, but near the end, there was another 1-on-1 which he kind of feigned injury off, holding his leg a bit and wasting time there. But I think in general, your keeper saved you multiple times in that game. And to be honest, I think if at 3-1, if Benzema scores that 1-on-1, I don't know. I can't see Al Hilal coming back from that. If, in my opinion, if he scores that 1-on-1, it's a different story. But the keeper
Yeah.
is
But
I mean,
from a neutral perspective, it was such a good game to watch. I felt
yeah.
like
Yeah.
anything
Great game.
past the midfield, and they just kept getting it in behind each defense, and it was pretty much a 1-on-1, a 2-on-1
yeah.
every time. So honestly, it could have been could have been more than 5 goals each side.
Easy.
Yeah.
There were so many opportunities throughout that game. That is one thing the midfield was lacking, absolutely. So we didn't have too much control. But
even the goal
Ali
you
had worked through a
conceded.
couple of times. Yeah,
Even the goal you conceded was savage with the outside foot inside his box. Like,
you see that he tried to play outside on his own.
I don't
But he
understand.
did make up for it, though.
He lost his head.
Savage made up for it though at the end. He made the assist for the final goal.
He did get the assist, yeah. But we should have never been put in that position. I don't know what he just lost his head. He lost his head in that defense.
Was he like that the whole game though? I didn't see the whole game. Was he like that the whole game, or was he just like a couple of mistakes and that was it?
No, he wasn't like that the whole game. But it just when you have the ball in that defensive in that part of defense and you try booting it out, you either get it to the other side of the pitch or you get to another player, not to the opposition in the box. It just
just imagine turning in and then trying to outside foot it.
I couldn't quite believe my eyes.
Probably the most creative player on the day in the box. Like, what a player that Hamdallah is. Like, what a player.
I think he's been your best player, in my opinion.
Couple wayward shots.
Hasn't been as good as he's been. He's your top goal scorer. He just stands out, and you've got big names. But arguably, he stands out, in my opinion. From the games I've seen, he stands out.
We've got 4 big players.
But then when I was watching that game, I was thinking, for some of these players that stand out like he does, imagine if they played in like the Premier League or a European league, for example, would they be the same? That was my thinking at the time when I was watching it. And my argument was, in some essence, I think they would be at a decent level, especially Hamdallah himself. He's a good player, man. But it would be interesting to see those sorts of players in European leagues.
But I think, like, for example, Al Hilal at least, right? That Al Dawsari, the one who scored the last goal.
Yeah.
Like, he scored that banger against Argentina, right? He's a
quality player.
I mean, you do that against Argentina. I mean, okay, there was a bit, like, at least in the World Cup before that goal, he got a bit lucky with the way the ball kind of bounced to him. But at the same time, he's competing at the highest level there. So maybe he could do it at some teams. But now, at this moment in time, Saudi Pro League is a place to be. Why would you want to leave, really?
Yeah, I mean, with all the talent that's coming over the Saudi Pro League, it seems quite stupid. It's probably more testimonial to actually be in one of these big clubs at the moment, in terms of if you can get into one of these big clubs and still make that first 11, you know what kind of player you are, or what level of player you are at least. But yeah, and what I find interesting is we still have Neymar to come in. So even whilst that great result, Neymar's now he's back in training. He's recovered from his muscle injury. Unfortunately, we have international break, so he's going to go to Brazil. Hopefully, touch wood, he keeps fit. But he gets a few more game minutes, and he comes back in, and we'll I think we've got Al Riyadh next, so we'll see what surprises he will pull up. But I'm hoping positive ones for sure.
I've got a couple controversial things to what Gamind and Anthony just said, though. But you don't need to reply to it.
I would love to hear it.
I just want to hear it out. I just want to hear it out. That's it. So
you seem nervous already, to be honest.
Yeah, because
all I hear is Salah in my ears. I feel like
that's crazy. Anthony said
about
this, Saudi versus Argentina. Yeah, no matter what the score of that game was, what Van Gaal just said this week. Yeah, it wouldn't have made a difference. Argentina's going to win anyway, so Saudi never had a chance. That's controversial take one. Second controversial take. Gamind said he wonders how like Romarinho would be in the Premier League, or either of them would be in the European leagues. But as the UEFA president said, no Saudi clubs will be in the Champions League, so you'll never actually ever get to see that unless it's a friendly, which won't be as serious as actually seing how they are on that level. So you never actually. It
was just a thought that came to my head, just comparing how they are. I wasn't. I would love to see him in there. Just like, would he be able to compete at a level that we've been watching for so long?
But when you compare him to like Mitrovic, right? Mitrovic, when he was in the Prem, I'd say maybe top top 8 strikers, top 10 strikers, and you can see the difference in how they are already in Mitrovic's first 3 games. I think if you compare it off that, and then that's the only thing you kind of have to go off, really. And even to like Benzema, well, he was one of the best strikers in his league. But when you compare it across, I don't think he's Premier League anyway. Maybe like in the French league, or maybe one of the German teams, or even a Spanish team potentially, but not in England. I don't think it'll be as effective as you might think it would be.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that because he's playing with these players that you mentioned, and he's standing out amongst a lot of the like these top European players. Or you could argue, I mean, some might argue they're ex-top European players, but that's a whole another argument. But yeah, that was just what I was just thinking of when I was watching that game.
I don't think it's impossible to see him in Europe. I mean, there's still, as much as players are going from Europe to Saudi Arabia, I can imagine players from Saudi Arabia would love to opportunity to go to Europe. So I can see some clubs maybe trying to come in for him.
That's another thing, but I don't know how that opens a can of worms. Talking about what if players from Saudi Arabia really want to play in Europe, then what happens? Do you, as a league, do you keep these players, or what are you really looking for in terms of, do you want to keep the best Saudi players in Saudi, or what if your players want to go play in Europe? Depends on how good they are.
Yeah, I think that does open a serious kind of worms, and probably a discussion for sure later on, because because it genuinely.
There are so many topics.
We could actually pick out players we think during the season that will make it into that we think can make it in Europe. So we'll definitely have that discussion. I mean, there's so many international breaks coming up that leaves opportunities for that. But just with Ittihad, and I just want to get a quick controversial statement or controversy that's going in the transfer market at the moment. I know last week we were kind of.
I mean, he should already
with his chest saying that we've got him.
He should have already scored a hat trick or something, right? He should have already scored a hat trick.
Yeah, that was all coming.
What was his name again?
In fairness,
one more time. One more time.
So I was just going to say, in fairness to Vishnu, they've actually put a bid down, 215 mil.
Yeah, 215 million they have. Yeah.
Wait. Pause. Vishnu's like your screen is getting
you were just smiling, bro.
And this is not the first time. Like I think on the call it's happened like 2 or 3 times now.
No, that was the first time.
No, for me it's happened 2 or 3 times. But it's bad now, it seems.
How do we cut and play this?
No, but he can carry on from your point. Sorry.
Yeah. So just to keeping to the point of the transfer market controversy. I know Vishnu said last week that he would already be here now, and as fraudulent as that appeared to be, they have in fairness to him, they have put down a bid of 215 mil. Well, that's what the rumours are anyway. I don't think it's been officiated at the moment, but the rumours are strong rumours linking 250 mil bid pending into Liverpool for Mohamed Salah.
215
mil.
From 150. Are you sure?
215.
So I think the structure of the bid is 150 mil up front, with the remainder to be paid over installments. So Al Ittihad aren't going away at the moment. The transfer window is due to close. It's going to ramp up.
Question: if you're Liverpool, would you say yes or no?
I would have sold him at 150.
No. It's not. But I think it's interesting because Saudi are like, at least from like some of the news, like press releases or the newspapers and stuff, it's kind of like even like some of the higher ups within Al Ittihad and in the Saudi Pro League, they're kind of like, okay, Liverpool have said no to the first bid, so let's take a break and wait till next year and we'll do it then. I mean, Jurgen Klopp was kind of like, yeah, he's not going anywhere, he's staying and all of this. So I can't see him come this year. I mean, I'll be surprised. I mean, they've got what? Like we're recording this on Tuesday night, and they've got 2 days. They've literally Wednesday, Thursday to do everything they need to. I don't know.
I don't know. 215 mil for a 31-year-old. I understand what the player he is, but you don't get that money knocking every day. If they wait next year, I don't believe Al Ittihad will come with that level of bid.
Yeah, he's got 2 years left as well. He signed a deal last year, I think a 3-year deal.
Yeah,
his agent did come out and say we wouldn't sign that deal if we didn't want to stay, because you wouldn't sign the deal, do a year and leave. But then it always comes down to, this is like a sum of money that no club has seen before. Now what do you do? It's a bit of an unknown.
I
You
think
just
they'll
don't
leave
know.
it to Salah. I think they'll leave it to Salah. If he wants to leave, I think they'll let him go. I don't think Liverpool are a type of club who've held on to players before.
Yeah.
So I would say if he wants to go, he goes. If not, he stays. And
I
if
think
you're Salah, would you want to leave when your club who've done so much for you are in the Europa League? You'd want to get them back in the Champions League before you leave, right?
Not really.
But
Yeah, I
Not
think he's
really.
proven. I think he's proven enough for Liverpool. He's
Yeah.
done enough for
He's
Liverpool.
won in the Champions League. He's won in the
He
Premier
is a
League.
legend of the club,
Yeah.
pretty much.
He's
done
he's
enough.
already a legend of the club.
25
think
plus
that-
goals a season, whatever it is.
Yeah, but even as Liverpool, is he replaceable at this moment in time? You can't get a player until January. Is there a good?
The thing
Is
is,
do
really
they
interesting.
write off the
Liverpool
Last
fans
season?
will argue Harvey Elliott, but yeah, then that's not it. I'm joking.
Last week we said, how can you turn down 150 million? This week we're saying, would they turn down 215 million? Only
I
last week
said
we were shocked the way it was.
no. I said 150 was too low. I said at least 200. For me, it was at least 200.
He's 31
And-
years old.
Yeah, but he's
31-year-old. I mean, I
what
genuinely
he's
forget
gonna
our
do?
free jail card. He's on an insane contract. He's earning the most at Liverpool. Plus, he's 31. He's only going to depreciate in terms of value. This is their one opportunity to make
Good
serious
money.
money. That is an insane amount of money. The only thing that I can kind of see is I don't see Liverpool have a left winger that actually slots in immediately. They're
Right
quite
winger.
heavy on
That's the problem.
sorry, a right winger. They're quite heavy on the left, but yeah, a right winger that slots in.
That's why if they sold him
like-
last week Monday, they would have had like 4 or 5 days to bring someone in that they could. I'm being
Yeah,
serious.
but
I'm being serious.
Yeah,
lost
yeah.
out 70.
Like,
It was
if they
65 mil.
If they lose him in the next 2 days, right? They're left with nothing.
Yeah, but then if you sell him for 150 and you go to another club, say I want your player, and the player's worth 50 million. If I'm the club, I'll say he's 100 million for you,
Yeah.
and then they'll be like, why would you do that? I know you've got the money.
The other thing, like for kind of
It-
Saudi
it-
to
yeah.
still go after him, right? Is like because again, it was in like the news this week with Saudi. At least imagine, and I said this last week as well. With someone like Salah, okay, he's 31 years old, but when he comes to the Saudi Pro League, the impact he's going to have in that region and also all the surrounding regions. For example, right, Champions League. I think now Iran have like it's been agreed that games can be played in Iran with Saudi Arabian teams within the Champions League. Al Nassr are playing a team called Persepolis, right? Their stadium is 100,000 people. And those 100,000 people are able to now watch Cristiano Ronaldo play against their team. That is unreal for those people. Like even last year, that it's not even. So now imagine Salah, who's arguably probably the biggest Arab player in history, now coming to play in an Arab country, playing in the Asian Champions League, going to all these countries, and the impact is huge. So 250 million, yes, is big now for a 31-year-old, but the impact it's like
undeniable
Yeah.
impact. But what did you guys just quickly? What did you guys think on Jurgen Klopp's comments on the Saudi transfer market and the cheeky few remarks he made? My personal, I think it was cheeky, but
Yeah, I've got one comment. I've got one comment to that, right? He's got players, not just him. All these European teams, have players who are coming from South America, who are coming from Africa, who are coming from Asia. Are they coming because of, I don't know, the amazing football played in Europe? No, they're coming to have a better life. They're coming to improve their family situation. And all these guys are doing is the same thing. They're being offered something in Saudi which they are not able to get in Europe. They're being offered generational wealth. They're not just securing their kind of immediate families, they're kind of securing their generations after that.
Are you
So
talking about
I
Henderson in
don't-
particular?
Huh? No, I'm
You're
just
talking
saying
about Henderson?
everyone.
Oh, okay. 'Cause
Everyone.
Henderson came out
everyone.
and said he didn't move for the money. He moved for himself. And so like,
Yeah.
I think that was a shot back at Jurgen's comments as well a bit when he
Yeah,
came out and
but-
said what he said.
Sometimes you
But
don't hear the
I
real
f-
picture from a lot of people. I think
No.
you can
Yeah.
kind of make it up yourself.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
in my eyes, like, all Saudi are doing is following the European model. They're not doing anything different. It's just they
Exactly.
have more money to offer.
Even with Henderson's comments, I mean, I don't think it's an insult to follow the money. I think at this point, the football has become such a money game. Everything is motivated by money across from the top to the bottom, whether that be through the players, whether that be through the boards of clubs. It is money motivated in all essences, especially at the elites. Yeah, in the elites of the leagues. If it was Sunday league, maybe not so much. I guess that's more passion. I personally think, but yeah, I think Anthony's totally right in terms of players from across the world are going to the Premier League, and for Jurgen Klopp to mention anything about the law of Europe thinking it's because of football, I'm sorry. Saudi Arabia, Liverpool, Riyadh, Liverpool. In terms of cities, in terms of people, there's a difference. Liverpool isn't exactly a exotic place that I've ever been to.
Sorry to any people from Liverpool watching this.
Sorry to any people from Liverpool, but
You can go after him.
it's true. It's
I'll send
true.
you
It's
his
not the
address.
most exotic place in the world. So yeah, I find it cheeky in all essences. But yeah.
No, but yeah, but you're in that it's crazy. Like I think Jurgen Klopp and also a lot of these managers who are complaining, especially in the Premier League, need to realize that football is not just it's not just played in the Premier League, or it's not just played in England. It's a global sport. Everyone is entitled to that sport. You know, it's played across the whole world. And he came out saying, "Oh yeah, the whole world should be kind of following one transfer deadline, so that games end in August or September." And I'm like, some seasons don't start the same. Most seasons around the world don't start the same time as the European seasons or the English season. Some start in February, end in August. It's all over. It's a global sport, so it should cater to the global audience and therefore be different for each region. You can't just come out and say, "Oh, now Saudi are growing big. We need to now make them conform to UEFA or conform to the English Premier League."
But it's not a big difference anyway, because I know last week I said it was the 20th, but it's actually the 7th of September.
Yeah.
One week difference is not it's not the end of the world. I know they have more buying power for the 1 week, but they also have to pay more for the players they're getting anyway. So whoever's window's closed, they have the power to say, give me extra 20 million, 30 million. So it's not losing out.
Exactly.
I think the argument is they have the buying power. I think if it's a threat. If it wasn't a threat, he would not have made that comment, essentially. Because he knows that they can just come in and they have that power. That's what he doesn't like.
I mean,
which I guess it's fair game, because he's trying to do a job. He wants the best players at his club.
If he wants the best players at his club, he should have sold Salah last week. He would have had 5 days to buy another player. Now he put him. Honestly, think about it.
I don't really agree with that one.
If they always fought, Liverpool's mind, they just fought by themselves. From Liverpool's point of view, yeah, if you always thought you're going to sell Salah for whatever price, yeah, and you said, no, we're going to reject the bid, but we still want Salah, and then you're also saying we want to buy a player. Why wait for your transfer window to close, get a price of 215 million and say yes for it, and then lose out on a player? Yes, you've made 215 million. That's a great profit, great return, fine. But now you're out a player. But a week ago Monday, when you had the offer that was 150 million. You had 150 million guaranteed for Salah, and Salah wanted to go as well. He's ready to do his medical, whatever. And then you get the 150 million. You've already made profit on the player. I know it's not the extra 65 million you could have got, but with that 150 million, even if you are extortionated for another player, like let's say for 80 million for whoever another right winger is, you can bring another player, and you still have 70 million left over from the initial transfer. So yes, you made 215 million, but if you were going to do it anyway, you would rather have a replacement. Losing Salah is not like an easy player to lose. It's a big difference. And if Saudi say 215, they say no tomorrow. Saudi come and say 250, and then what? The owners is going to say, yeah, $250 million. Yeah, no, let's not take it. Of course they're going to want it. That's a lot of money to take in. So if they, instead of him complaining, if he just took the money, and if they said yes on Monday last week, they had 4 or 5 days. That is a very good amount of time. You might get bumped a little bit, but it's good enough. It's more enough time to bring in a good signing to your club, get to play with them, get them in the team, and then Salah goes across. But now they'll have 250 million if they say yes. They have no replacement. They just have the money. If he's not talking, if it's not about money, then why don't you do that beforehand? It's just about the money, really.
All honesty, I don't think Liverpool are selling this transfer window, because from everything, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, it could change tomorrow, but In my opinion, I don't think so because of how strongly Jurgen Klopp's spoken about it just over this weekend, like it literally after the game. So it'd
let's
be
wrap up that as
really
well. So,
surprising.
let's wrap that up as well. So Anthony doesn't think Salah's gonna go. What about you, Gams?
If it's 250, I'll be honest. If I'm an owner, I'm selling him. But for 150, I'd still back that he wouldn't go.
What about 215?
Yeah.
215.
Tell it live, bro.
That's what the rumor is.
But it depends what point of view I'm coming across. If I'm just me as a neutral in this, and
Just
what I think is going to happen,
what do you think?
I would say no. I would say no.
You think by Thursday they're not gonna Salah's not still gonna be a Liverpool player?
Yeah, and I think January, I think he'll go then.
And what about you, Vish?
I've just seen his signed tomorrow. 215 million paper signed. That's my predictions.
I wish you did that last week before the game actually commenced against Al Hilal, and you did that, and you could have predicted the actual result or what your fantasy is. But
you need to buy a new crystal ball, mate. That's what you need to do.
Mystic.
I enjoy all this smoke on me, but somebody here does support Al Ali that we haven't talked about.
That's exactly it. So let's go from one fraud to the next from last week. So one person had their chest out. The other person, he had his chest out. I think he mentioned he has the balance.
Yeah,
he has the balance.
But wait.
So
balance.
Let's see.
I see Anthony laughing. All I'm saying is, we may have taken the balance.
And
all you're saying is fine.
Where are you in the league? Remember last week you said it's a process, and you're still below us. Just saying, the process is processing.
Yeah, that's fine.
But okay. Let me start with the negatives. Yeah. So we took
Mendy,
before anyone starts, let's just actually reiterate what the score was. So Al Ali turned up to Al Fateh's stadium, and they brought their balance to the scoreline of a 5-1 slapping.
All right, let me get to this. The balance was not balancing in that game. The defense was shocking. In all honesty, we gave away 4 avoidable goals. 3 of them were penalties, all through challenges that were rash. And one sloppy error from Ibanez. He just literally gave the ball away, and they pretty much scored. That's 4 avoidable goals. You had a player sent off, Demiral, which means you're going to be without your best centre back for how many games? Like at least 1 or 2 games, right? Maybe. And 3, he gave away the penalty. Yeah, the last goal of the game. So your future games, like let's say on the 21st of September, without your best defender against Ronaldo and Mane, is looking a bit intense right now. Well, to be fair, I'm looking at the team that beat you, who are second.
Yeah, so second in the league. Your next 2 games. Your next 2 games without your best defender. We'll see how that goes then. And then we'll have this conversation about league positions. They did you 2-0. Yeah, we'll talk about league positions and that.
When are you guys playing? Wait. This month.
Can I just end on one thing? Let me just end on one thing. The silver lining is that we're only 1 point off the top. So all of this chat about balance, we're 1 point off the top. And I just want to mention one more thing. 6th position. There's one guy on this call with 6th position. Just saying, and he's been giving a lot. So just keep going.
I don't need to. You're chatting 5 games into the season. I mean, you're as deluded as the balance on your team. Like
I've happily said. I've said.
Listen, you've got a right winger who thinks nutmegs are goals, bro. Like, come on.
Our right winger. You talking about Mahrez?
Mahrez is nutmeg 4-1 down. Cheeky nutmeg celebrates it like that was me.
Like Mahrez. I'll be honest. With his performances, he can do what he wants.
With what? In a 5-1 defeat with this performance.
He played 5 games, and 4 of those games he's been top class.
You're actually delusional.
You're not talking about the other 4 games. Talk about this game.
Yeah, you're talking. Do you know what? It's great. I mean, last season you got relegated.
1 point off the top.
This season you guys spend this much money and then lose 5-1 to Al Fateh, but who haven't spent the money you spent.
Much money. If you compare the amount of money spent. Let's not go there.
I mean, for a team that just got promoted, I think you guys have definitely punched above your weight in terms of players you've got. So you shouldn't be getting embarrassed. You should've been
promoted
rest.
after
listen-
getting relegated last year. Let's not forget
Listen,
that.
one
bit.
point
The
off
only
the top.
reason you're in this league is because the league got extended. If not, you'd be playing Division 2 right now. So 5-1 is maybe a fair result.
Listen, let's come to your team, but can you start off with where you are in the table?
No,
and where
but let's
we
let's
are, and
before
then
we
we'll
get to that, let's at least talk about your attack. I know your defense was bad.
What attack?
Shocking.
No
Look,
goal.
in between, let me say, in between the
No
last
goal.
podcast, we won one game and we lost this one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're
Nice.
not gonna back up the remarks that Anthony's making against the attack.
Listen, this guy can laugh all he wants. If you finish sixth in the season, what does it count? And we finish
5
above
games
you.
into the season and you're talking about opposition, but it's okay.
So why are
2
you
more
laughing
games.
about my team,
We'll have
bro?
this chat in 2 games
No, bring the
time.
chest. Why are you laughing about my team?
Exactly.
If
They
it's
scored.
if it's five
they scored a
games, if it's
goal.
five games,
They
it's
scored a
equal.
goal.
You
They
were
scored a
chatting
goal.
about the balance of your
Look,
team.
Yeah,
and
I think it was more the chest that
and
you
this
brought out last week.
5-1, right after all that.
But then you can
Chat, you're
say
giving-
the argument against
Look.
that it's only 5 games. So and these
Nah,
are newly signed players. So
but-
how
but-
do you expect them to just be like a team in 5 games?
No, but I understand you're like a closet Al Hilal fan, so it makes sense, you know. It makes sense. You're like secretly celebrating. No wonder you're not that distraught because you're like, oh, we still won 4-3 this weekend. So I can see. Oh, look at you smile.
No, wait. I want to say something.
So I know you will come to the blue team, the blue side of the world. It is pretty up here. I don't blame him too much right now. So
I'm just here. I
Well-
respect football. I respect the players. Like I've seen
Respect
these
the
players in
balance.
European leagues. So you're saying that you can be fans. You can be fans of. I'll say fans, but you can be. You can
Mhm.
like other teams.
No, go on. Keep
players.
digging your hole.
you
dig
do,
your
you
hole.
do. Honestly,
Yeah.
that's one thing about Gums. He does. He's the epitome of balance.
Yeah.
His
You can
arguments in his analysis is balance. So we'll
With-
leave it on that. We'll leave it on that. I'm sure.
Listen, I'm a
Most-
man of the
most-
people.
Most balanced team with average players who value nutmegs over goals. Yeah.
This is how you know you don't actually listen to what I say. I said average players. I say, and they're at the same level
Yeah,
of each other.
average. No, but in all seriousness, it could be a blip. You got the international break now, so I think it's the worst way to go into the international break. But we'll see what comes out of that. Hopefully, well, actually, I don't hope in any way, shape, or form. I hope this continues this blunder. But for your sake, so we don't roast you again. I hope
I
for your
mean,
sake.
you say that. 1 point off the
Ali's
top.
back in the winning terms.
1 point off the top. Let's bring in the lowest placed team in this.
And
in
yeah,
this call right
let's
now.
go on. Let's go
So
on.
let's
the
bring
next,
in that
next
lowest
one.
placed team.
Lowest place out of the 4 of us, but they have been on a consecutive winning streak. Ronaldo seems to be back in top form. Mane is embedding in well. But I'll let you take the stage anyway, and you tell me how Nassr gets Al
Yeah, I
Hazam.
mean, we had a great 5-1 win against Al Hazam. We kind of, Ronaldo scored, Mane, Ronaldo I think also got an assist. It was like a kind of dominant showing. Although out of all of those goals, the best goal came from the Al Hazam player. I think his name was oh, do you know what? I can't remember his name, but it was a quality goal. Like it was more, I think it was like, I don't know, like 40, 50, 60 yards out, just placed into the top corner, just a rocket. Like it was like one of the greatest goals I've seen in my life. Like it was just so crisp. But that said, they still lost 5-1. They're not sitting there celebrating nutmegs. So,
Wait. Can we just come back to that? You said it's one of the greatest goals you've ever seen in your life.
Have you
I
seen
was
the goal?
thinking about a few
I
goals
saw that
thinking-
goal, and I'll be honest. I've seen many goals like that. Great goals, but I don't know what goals you've seen in your life, my friend.
So that is not a great goal in your opinion.
Yeah, but not one of the greatest goals I've ever
Greatest,
seen.
Yeah,
in
I
my
said
life.
one of the
I
greatest.
personally haven't seen it, but it does sound very like
If
it
you
does sound
watch
like a long ranger. It sounds kind of Ronaldo-esque.
Yeah, but it's like top corner is.
It was a great goal, but it's not one of the greatest goals.
But but we still
the
won
emotions
5-1.
got to you. The emotions got to you on that one.
Yeah, but
I
I
haven't
know,
seen it,
I think taking it all out on Gaminda after his balance chart. Obviously, maybe I'm a
You,
bit on
you,
a high
sound
right
like more of
now.
a fan of the other team right now, of the other players than your own players.
After beating them 5-1. Yeah, but more
Ronaldo
importantly,
he scored an overhead kick in the Champions League final, and this is one of the greatest goals you've seen.
one of
No.
I don't know why you're arguing. But
It's
anyway,
good to respect other teams, though, isn't it?
But bringing it back. I just want to say also, if you
Yeah, bring it
then
back in, lads.
look at our look at the kind of player stats and all of that, Ronaldo's now top scorer, got the most assists in the league, and also I think followed by Mane, who's second, and we've also got a guy called Garib, who's also top for assists as well, along with Ronaldo. So the team's obviously turned now from that poor start, and now we're like looking ahead, and obviously got Ali coming up in a couple of games, so that should be fun. With the kind of form that these guys are in. So, I think the next couple of games will be good. Before that, I think we play a team called Al Raid as well, and who are kind of a mid-table team from what I know. So it hopefully should be okay. And then
Should be a perfect matchup.
Good one. Well, we'll see. We'll see in a couple of games. We'll see where we're all at. But to be honest, I was also like, if you look at the kind of top 6-7 teams at the moment, I think we played one or two of them already. Ahli is the first team they've played in the top 7, and they lost 5-1.
Wait. Why did you just bring
Ittihad,
top 6-7 teams? Why can't you just do like the top 4?
because
mention that.
you want to say Al Taboon? Yeah, you could say that. But okay, top 4.
No, but why didn't you just say like top 4? You went.
It's because It's because 5 is a very crucial number here. We beat Al Fateh 5-0. That team we just lost 5-1 to. We beat.
No,
them.
you were just talking about the top 6 or 7 teams. I was just wondering why 6 or 7, but
because we're 6th and Al Fateh is 7th, and we beat them 5-0 and you lost to them 5-1. So maybe the table as it is now is probably not reflecting the true picture of things, but we'll see. We'll see in a couple of games time who's chirping the most.
I do like this. I mean, I know the game's a fair few weeks away, but the preview for this Al Nassr, it's really firing up. It's really firing up.
I can't wait.
I mean, I don't know why you're waiting. I don't know who Al Hilal are playing on the 22nd of September. I mean, it must be a good game if you're waiting for that.
So our next game is Al Riyadh. So playing them next.
I was hoping Gams.
I know. I was waiting for him to respond. He just didn't get the joke.
Yeah, that went straight over my head. Jesus, I actually thought you came for shots for me, but I mean, how can you shoot me when we're so up in the league, undefeated, and
at the moment,
1 point. Come on,
at the moment,
no, 1 point. 1 point.
1 point, but undefeated.
At the moment,
undefeated.
At the moment,
so it's Al Tawoon.
Actually, yeah, you're right. Al Tawoon. So you guys really get to your clubs and really step up the game, because this is
we're only 1 point behind. It's not a big problem.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I guess it's momentum, and I think we'll see what comes out from the international break. But I think this has been a great podcast, and I think we've gone over some topics. I know next week's we've got the international break, so we'll be looking to come back again, probably talking about the end of the transfer market. It looks like it's heating up, so there might be some stories that come out of that. And yeah, we'll definitely try getting together next week again, hopefully on a Monday, and speaking all things Saudi Pro League. So I hope everyone's enjoyed the Al or Nothing podcast, episode 3. Please, guys, leave a comment. Please help us grow. I appreciate you with all the support that we receive. We received some critics, and we're looking to improve. So as we continue on, but from me, I'm out, guys. It's been a pleasure. Enjoy your week.